Hi, this is Betty Banjack, and look who's cooking, but we're not going to cook today. What we're going to do is, do you know there must be 7 million gadgets in the world? And do you know that I probably own 6 million of those gadgets? So I do want to share them with you. I brought a big basket full of gadgets I got at home, and I just dumped them into my basket, and I went out and bought some fruits and vegetables, and I said, I want to show you how to use all of these. But my big disappointment, and I have to tell you about my disappointment at first. My big disappointment was I left the house without the head of lettuce and didn't realize it till I got to the school. So we're not going to see the lettuce in action, but what I want to talk to you about is the fact that there is such a thing called a lettuce knife. And a lettuce knife is, it sounds funny, why a lettuce knife? Why not a metal knife like this or anything else? But if you're going to keep lettuce for some time after you make it, like a salad for the buffet or whatever, then it turns brown from the metal blades. So there is this little plastic knife out, and it's called a lettuce knife. And there's this dark green one, and there's a aqua one, which is terrible against the lettuce. So I bought the dark green one. But try it, you'll see it'll last. You can also tear your lettuce if you're having bigger hunks. But try the lettuce, and if you see, why is there a plastic knife like this? Because it's not going to cut anything. It does cut something. It cuts lettuce, and it does a nice job. You can do it fine if you want it like a coleslaw consistency, though you don't make lettuce into coleslaw, but it's a nice knife, it's sharp, and it works. So I just wanted to mention that. I really wish I would have remembered to bring the lettuce, but it's in the refrigerator, so I guess I'll have a lot of salads this weekend. Let's see, what are we going to talk about next? Here we have tomatoes. Everybody loves tomatoes. It's that time of year for tomatoes, and you can do millions of things. You can cook them in millions of ways. I also want to mention something. A lot of this many of you already know. It's not new. This is like a refresher course. I know myself, a lot of times I forget that I even have a gadget in the drawer or drawers. And when I see someone using it on TV, I go, I have one of those. I can try it, and it'll work. These are Roma tomatoes, which are thick-skinned Italian-type tomatoes, and they're very, very good. One thing I want to show you to go with that, there is this little thing called a tomato scoop. It's a tiny little scoop, and it has serrated edges. And what it does, if you have one, you can just cut it off. But if you have a lot to do, it takes the little stem end out of the tomato. And it just makes a little, see that? It makes a nice little neat cut. It isn't jagged. It's just a nice little stem end. We'll do another one of those. And it's, a lot of these gadgets are just fun to mess with more than you can cut them out quicker. But if you want them to be really nice, then that's the way to do it. There's a reason. As I said, they're fun, the gadgets, and most of them have a really good reason, but there's always an alternative way to do it also. And something else I want to mention, do you know when you want to take the skins off your tomatoes and you drop them in boiling water and then you dip them out after a minute and a half or whatever? People have trouble getting the skins off, they tell me. I still can't get the skin off. And the big secret to that is at the bottom of the tomato. Just take a plain ordinary knife, and what you do is you make a little X on the bottom of the tomato, and when you drop it in the water and it boils up for the 90 seconds or whatever, the water goes between the tomato and the skin, and you're able to just peel it right off. So that's the thing with the tomatoes. We have the tomato scoop. It's a cute little thing. None of these are really expensive gadgets. I didn't bring any of the electrical ones or the expensive ones. I have some of them too. But my biggest pride and joy is I own a 14-cup Cuisinart food processor. Oh, it's so good. Because you can always you can always chop a clove of garlic in something that big. But if you get something that's too small, I have burnt out in my lifetime 4 food processors trying to make dough in them because they didn't handle it. The 9-cup, 10-cup ones didn't handle it. So again, the two things with the tomato is the scoop, and if you have a lot and you want to get that end out, it's a lot easier than a knife. And this, I believe, is well under $2 or something like that. And remember to score your tomato before you drop it in to peel it. Let's see what else we have here. Ah, I know what. See this egg cutter, slicer, thingamabobber jig. Everybody has one of these in their drawer. Now, if you have one that is good, you can do other things with it. If you have a real cheap one that's going to fall apart, because I've had them fall apart trying this, it's not going to be good. But something, if you have a nice one and it's sharp strings, you could do radishes and thousands, 100 little cuts. And my favorite thing is to do mushrooms. You place the mushroom right in there, just like you would the egg. And let's see, this is the big mushroom. I may break it. Oh, I didn't. I guess this is a good cutter. And then what I do is you just take them off. I'm going to show you here on the. Look at the nice cuts it makes. Really nice cuts. And ironically, I think if you buy whole mushrooms somewhere, and then you buy the ones that are pre-sliced, which are really nice to use, the difference is about at least 25% in the cost. And with this, you can just, you're not going to cut your hands, you're not going to cut anything. Oh, good, I had the good slicer today, it didn't fall apart. But if you're going to get one of these and you're going to use it for mushrooms, make sure you get a good one and not one real cheap, because in that case, it will fall apart on you. Oh, let's see what, these mushrooms look so good, I'd want to eat them. I love raw mushrooms. I like raw vegetables. But you know, I want to mention something. Sometime we have raw broccoli and raw cauliflower and raw carrots and all this on a tray. And it's really nice. But I found out, personally, if you parboil them for a minute and a half or something, to get that real hardness out of it, it's a lot easier on your teeth, whether it be children to older people, because it's just not quite a snap. It's still snap and it's still good, but by parboiling the vegetables, you're able to just get that little edge and bite in, and you can get to eat more that way. So your mouth doesn't get sore. Let's see. Let's talk about, I have to tell you something. Earlier this morning, when I was in the studio with Mr. Green, the Director of Communications here at the high school, I never in my life used this gadget. It was sitting in my gadget drawer. They call it hands-on natural grip kitchen gadget. And why it's natural grip is it's easier to hold on to. And well, what does it do? It looks like it could cut cheese, it could cut this. This is wonderful. I tried it for the first time, like I said, several minutes ago. I'm in love with this. I'll have to make something every day or every other day with it. You take a carrot or anything else you want to make julienne slices with. And what this does, you just pull it along the edge. Watch, I'm not going to be able to do it now. And it makes the julienne slices. See that? How? I should stand up, it'd be easier. And boy, it sure saves on your fingers. See these nice little slices? Let me get it. That carrot is real bumpy. Let me see if I can get a better carrot. Yeah. And again, you just get these nice little pieces you want, whether you just need a few for decorating or you want to make some up for a salad. There's a wonderful salad out called Copper Penny, and it's made with carrots and a mayonnaise base, a summer salad I call it, and celery and all. And this is how you would do your carrots. It's really great. Let me put that on another dish. Everything up here so we can see it later. While I have carrots out, I just call this a vegetable cutter. It's a serrated vegetable cutter because you will see when you cut, it's, you know, if you cut with a regular knife, you get them popping all over the place. That's what you get. But you get little pieces, and they're nice, but they're sort of nothingness and there. And with this knife, you're able to better control. So the noise you're hearing is the fact that this is a glass cutting board on top of a metal thing. It will not make that much noise. And what it does, it makes nice serrated cuts. You can, they're nice to boil, or to cook, I should say. And I'm going to put these on here, where they're just very pretty. You can do that same effect with things they call gondolas, which are very expensive and I think very dangerous. They're very sharp, and you know, when you just go, you put it on, you go down, down, down. But if you only do it once in a while, and you don't need many during a cooking season, I should say, or the year, something like this, and again, this is only a couple dollars. I either got it in a gadget store or the supermarket. I don't remember, because like I said, it's been sitting around for a little while. And I want to talk to you about this. See this wonderful juicer. I don't know the exact age, but it belongs to Gladys Lee here at the communication department, and it belonged to her great Aunt Ella, who I believe lived to be 90. I hope I'm right with that. And she's from Boston, and she was just such a progressive woman. She started her college career at the age of 70. Whatever, I'm not quite sure. I didn't know Aunt Ella, so I don't know her whole story. I just know this from Gladys, and I think it's great. But she gave Gladys this juice reamer, where it could either be lemon or orange, or different varieties of lemons and oranges. And here I have a lemon. We're going to see how it works. I haven't used this, so I don't know. Again, I didn't do that, but let me show you. If you want to get the most out of your lemons, the juice and all, make sure you roll them before you cut them, because that loosens up the fibers in there. I'll put that there. So what we're going to do, hope I can handle this. Oh, it's very nice. It's very smooth. I'm not sure how old it is, because it could have been Aunt Ella's juicer. Oh, that's really nice. And what it does, of course, it takes the seeds and I don't have any cups. Oh, yes, I do. Wait a minute. It makes nice, pure, oh, you know what? A seed got in there. But guess what? It's only one seed, and I can't find it. Well, we'll leave it there. Well, you all know my secret. I lost the seed, and that might have been when I picked it up. I'm not 100% sure. Then what I have to show you is, I think this is a hoot. This is so funny. Let me clean off my board so maybe I don't get seeds into things. A real thing. Do you see? Little hairnets, little shower caps, whatever you want to call them. They're right here. And what they're for, I want to get a lemon that's hard. You can take, if it's the right size, I was thinking it's not going to fit, but you can take, I'm not doing this well, am I? Well, you can do it with a quarter. I think it may be too big. That's the whole thing. So what we do is we take this little cap, you may need help. And what it does, it goes over this. There goes another one. I don't know why this worked before. This goes over the lemon, I have to tell you. I mean, I only brought these really as a joke, and I have never really used them except once, and I didn't realize that you need very small lemons to go over. But it goes over the lemon. I'm going to try it one more time. you put it over the best you can. This I wouldn't suggest purchasing. This was just really a joke, and it is a joke. And what you're able to do is squeeze the lemon, and at the same time, it's straining the seeds out. But it doesn't do a very good job, as we can all see. Excuse me a second. I need to wipe that up. Remember not to buy that. Be better, you know what would be better? In fact, I'm taking the whole thing, I'm throwing it away. It's not any good. What would be better if you took a piece of cheesecloth, cut it into a small square, put your lemon half into the square, twist it around the back and squeeze that, if that's the way you want to do it. Sometimes you can do it through a strainer. You can take your lemon, cut it in half, squeeze it into a strainer, and the strainer will take out the seeds. Because actually, there's nothing worse than seeds from lemons or oranges in the dish you're making. It's just not appealing. So I would advise not just. Some people use their hand. They squeeze, they cut it, and they squeeze it through the hand, and they catch the seeds. But I haven't quite mastered that, because usually I have little nicks and cuts all over my hands. When the lemon goes through the nicks and cuts, they really do hurt. So I would suggest either the cheesecloth or this wonderful reamer type thing that Gladys's Aunt Ella gave to Gladys would be great. Oh, excuse me. Let me see. Here we have the cucumber. Cucumber is a very popular vegetable, and I have to say this, and I put it this way: even kids like cucumbers. Kids don't like a lot of things. They don't want this. They don't want carrots. They don't want spinach, but they like cucumbers. Some don't even like tomatoes, but cucumbers are okay. I don't know why it is, but that's true. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this, because I'm going to show you two things you can do, and I only have one cucumber, so we have to think. The first thing, which is this little gadget. I don't even know what this little gadget is called. It's called a cucumber knife, I guess. And a lot of these I got in demonstrations and food shows and all. And that's why I don't even know the name, because they just didn't push the name. They were pushing other things. And what this does is you take this, and on the end, there's an end. You take the spiral, and you start it. Let's make sure we're going the right way, because there is a blade on this. And you go, and you start. Okay, here we go. We started. Oh, excuse me. Allergy season. Make sure I'm going the right way. Yeah. Another failure. Maybe I'm not doing this. Maybe this is. Oh, here we go. Here we go. And what it does, it makes spirals of cucumbers, and it's just, you can make different widths and different thicknesses, and a lot depends on how easy it is to make, is according to the amount of water in the cucumber. This is a very juicy cucumber, so also something you can do with that cucumber is, there's a gadget like this, which is long and pointed, and I don't have any idea what this is called. A corer. You can do cantaloupes, and you can do things like that. But if you take and you go down the middle of the cucumber and clean out the cucumber, now this is fun. Hold on a second. Okay. You take this and dry it really good in a paper towel. That's what I was looking for, paper towel. Here they are. And you have the middle open, and then you take that and you put cream cheese or peanut butter or something you really like down the middle, and then you refrigerate it again till it gets nice and solid and hard. And then when you have that in there, then if you cut it in slices like this, you have these nice slices filled with cream cheese, peanut butter, or it has to be pretty thick. It can't be sour cream, because if you do put sour cream, it's going to sort of spill all over. So that's everything, and you can clean them out a little more as you get down there. But these are the fun food. The kids like these. The kids like to do this. I encourage you. None of these pieces of equipment are dangerous at all. I encourage you to work with your children and do things with them. And something, if you buy one gadget a week or a month even, and buy a good one, don't buy a real cheapy thing. Like what didn't work here? Oh, those little lemon panties, as I call them. But buy something good. In a short time, even within a year, you'll have quite a collection of gadgets that you like to use and can use. I was looking for another. Well, I'm going to talk about this. Remember I told you about the soft handle on the Juliana thing? This is just a regular peeler, food peeler. And what's nice about it is soft, and you're able to grip it onto it. It's not shiny and it doesn't slip, and you can't, things you can't do. And when you do that, it's for people that have arthritis or have a disability with their hands and are not able to grip. They get a little better leverage. There's a whole set of these out. The food peeler, graters, different things that have the rubber handles, just like the Julienne thing. And what that does, it gives you a good grip and a nice, look at that, really nice. Oh, this is better than I remember. I just moved recently, so I don't get to cook too much. I don't have time. I'm trying to find room to put the gadgets in the new place, that kind of thing. So we have that. There was another gadget I had. I didn't bring some gadgets. We have apples. There's a lot of gadgets for apples. There's a core, which I didn't. I really do apologize. I didn't bring. The core, which you do, is you just put it over the apple and slip down, and it makes like 8 pieces, and it's nice for kids, and it's just a nice way to eat them, so you don't cut them and they're rough, and they fight over who has a bigger piece of apple than the other one has, and stuff like that. So again, we have this. We can, you can use that in this cutter that I just showed you. These aren't speedy gadgets like some of the knives and all that you can go a mile a minute and thing. These takes a little more time, but they are a lot of fun. And again, with your children or by yourself. One of the other things, one of the most difficult things, talking about lemons, let me sit down here for a second. I'm looking for a gadget. Excuse me one second. I thought was here, but it must be home. There are many zesters out there. I mean, let me tell you how many I have alone. And I've thrown 1, 2, 3. I guess that's all the zesters are 4. This is the one that is most known by the cooks on television. And they show you this before, maybe it's getting a little different. And what it does is you put this in there and you collect your zest that way. But I found the problem with doing zest that way. For some reason, and it's not just me, I've talked to other people, the zest doesn't come off even. It tends to curve around because of the thing. And it takes a long time and it doesn't make a lot of zest. The other zest, but this is the one that is most popular, most known, and people still hate to make zest with it. Now you know why, because it isn't the one to have. There's these two not only do zest, they can make cheese, great cheese, and do things, but I found the really most wonderful, best zester are these new long ones. Make sure you're going the right way, because if you put your hand this way, you're not going to, if you cut this way, nothing will happen. It's smooth. You have to go against the grain. And what it does, I'm going to try to get, I have so much stuff here. see how much it's just, oh, it's collecting on the back side, and that happens. You're not seeing too much coming down. But I'll show you. See? That's where it all hangs out until with a little spatula or a little anything that has a flat edge, you're able to, and it makes, usually when you do zest with these things and they make long, thin ones, that's fine, but then you got to turn them around and cut them because they want little pieces, they mince it. So this does it all at one time. I would do some more, just so. This isn't a de-advertisement for anything. I wouldn't suggest buying any gadgets or anything at a dollar store. It's just, they're just not made to hold up. And you'll have to wind up buying a good one anyway. So here we have the lemon zest, which is very popular. Lemon cakes, orange cakes today. Everyone seems to be into the fruits. Okay, let me see if I have, oh, I want to talk about this. You see this knife, and it's in a sheath, and what it does, this knife sharpens itself as it goes in and out. When you pull it out, it sharpens it. And it's really a really nice thing to have. They have them in all sizes, from these small ones to really bigger ones than that would fit into this, you know. There's just a humongous amount of knives out there. Again, that's something that you really should go to a reputable place and shop for, because you need the knives you need for what you cook, and not somebody else. So you should go and speak to someone, a really good kitchen store. They can help you. Even if you don't buy it there, talk to them about it. They can help you do it. Let me just check and see. Well, we know about thermometers. Whoops, we check and see my... We have all kinds of thermometers that you can get and which are important in cooking. There's meat thermometers. The most important thermometer is a candy thermometer. If you need to have at least one, because what happens is you need to hit certain degrees in order for the candy to develop what it needs to be developed into. If you have any wonderful gadgets that you would like to share or tell us about or tell me about that I can share with everybody else, it would be really great if you let me know, and we can share that with somebody else, and maybe it'll be the gadget. This may not be the gadgets you need to use, but again, visit a local store, the supermarket. You can get them in the supermarket. And I'm not pushing to buy them, but these are something that you have to buy, you can't make. I don't know anyone who's made a plastic lettuce knife. I don't know anyone who has made a knife in a, well, maybe they did that, a knife in what is that, a sharpener. I'll put that in there. So there's just tons and tons of things out there. Buy good grade ones, buy ones that you can wash. Buy ones you can put in the dishwasher if you can, because like something like this lemon zester, well, you just can't get it out if you don't have it. But the dishwasher seems to get everything out. I'm a new advocate of dishwashers. This is my first dishwasher that I have recently in my home. So I'm going to pack up all this stuff, and hope you've learned something from today. And if not, at least reminded yourself, oh, I remember doing that, and I'll have to do that again. Or, again, as I said, let me know. And so this is Bette Banjack for Look Who's Cooking. We'll see you real soon now. Bye-bye.